Rachel? I see you found your sister.
Yeah, this is Marnie.
Why are you introducing us? Shouldn't I already know her?
Yeah, well, I just thought that you wouldn't remember. Hi.
Where you been?
I was out in the garden waiting for Rachel. Look, it's really late, and I think we should go to bed.
And where are you going to bed, sweetheart?
Victoria gave us a bedroom when we got here.
Your room is my room. That's where you'll stay.
Listen, Tone, bro, maybe, she's right. You're not 100%. Maybe you ought to sleep alone, till you get your strength back.
Thanks, Max. But I didn't ask for your advice.
Look, Tony, I think Max is right. I think it'd be better if you just rested for yourself for a few days. Look, I have a really bad headache, and I want to talk to Marnie alone.
That is a huge list of excuses.
They're not excuses. It's the truth.
But fine. I'm not going to force you to do a thing against your will.
Fine. Let's go. Let's go.
Good night. Max.
Yeah.
Don't leave here tomorrow without first coming and talking to me.
Why?
Don't ask why. Just do it.
Not stand him. He is so conceited. He's also very good looking. Don't you think he's hot? No, I think he's a jerk, just like Max. Marnie, what are we gonna do? Well, you wanna hear what I think? Go ahead. I were you. Pretend to be his wife. The guy is great looking and incredibly wealthy. What more could you possibly want? I'm telling you, for some bizarre reason, I know that he knows he never married me. Well, you don't have to say anything, just play along. Marnie, he knows. I know he does. I can see it in his eyes.
Come on in.
Where's Rachel?
Oh, she's up in her room. She said she's got a headache. She's up there so I can recuperate. Oh, yeah. Thanks.
How do you feel?
I'm tired.
No, I don't mean about that. I mean about Rachel. I'm not remembering.
I'm not worried. Okay, everything will be fine.
Oh, I'm glad to hear you say that. Now listen, there's something bothering me, and I really want to talk to you about it.
What's that?
Do you realize that you went off and got married and left us in the dark? Absolutely in the dark. And we had to cover up for you. We had to invent lies. We had to tell everybody that we knew Rachel before. We had to tell our friends that in all the newspapers.
And look, she went along with the entire thing?
Well, yeah. What else was she going to do? Oh, poor thing. I felt so sorry for her. Darling, why did you lie to her? You lied to her about your background. You told her you didn't have any immediate family.
No, it's strange.
Strange? It's worse than strange. I don't understand why you'd lie like that. Why all the lies and the secrets?
I cannot remember. I do not know, Victoria.
Oh, darling, I'm sorry. Maybe the doctor's right. Maybe you should go to the States for a good checkup.
Yeah, maybe. Look, did Max and Rachel know each other before?
What do you mean?
I mean, did I introduce them at some point?
No, you didn't say anything to anybody about her.
And Max went up to San Francisco. He checked out the certificate and everything.
That's right.
And it all checks out.
That's right. There's even a picture of you and Rachel in her apartment in San Francisco. Honey, her father even says he knows you.
Now I am really confused.
Maybe a good night's sleep will do you good.
Maybe. I'm tired. Gotta go to sleep.
Good night, dear. I'm glad you're home.
Good to be back.
I love you. Feel better.
Bye.
Is Lou's back yet? How long are you gonna make me wait? Send him here now.
Why do you always complicate things? Let Max handle it. What, you think he's going to lose control of the situation? He's not crazy, you know. Besides, if he did, he'd be in a bunch of trouble. It's not Max I'm worried about. It's Tony. I have a feeling he knows. Come on, Marnie, he's not an idiot. I mean, you saw him. Does he look like an idiot to you? No, not at all. He's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, well, gorgeous or not, he's going to throw us all in jail. What are you talking about? He lost his memory. He can't remember anything. Besides, if he had a clue, he would have said that he doesn't know you at all. He would have said he's never met you. Which means he doesn't remember. I don't know. I just have this gut feeling that he knows. And he's just playing this little cat and mouse game with us. Wake up, Rachel. If he finds out he's going to put us in jail, there's a very small chance of that ever happening. Besides, look around you. If you play your cards right, this can all be yours. Don't be a fool.
What if I tell Tony the truth?
Oh, it's a little late for that. And your picture's been plastered all over the newspapers. You've already told everyone he's your husband. You can't go back on that now. The whole thing is Max's fault. You know, I married Max. I didn't marry Tony. Well, who's going to buy that? I mean, you should have thought of that in the beginning. If you wanted to tell the truth, you should have done it as soon as you found out that Max wasn't Tony. But you didn't, and now it's too late. It is not. I can just say that Max was blackmailing me. Stop it! I can't even believe you. You're being handed this life of luxury and big-time wealth, and all you can do is stand there and think about your morals. Your stupid morals. God. You want to go to jail, is that it? You want Dad and I to join you in jail? Fine, if that's what you want. Suit yourself. I'm not going. Just think about that before you do something really stupid.
I just found out that
Yes, I know. He's alive. But we're lucky. Seems to think he has some kind of amnesia due to the accident. He can't remember getting married to Rachel.
Are the police done with the investigation of the accident?
Not yet, but don't worry about anything. That helicopter was completely destroyed. There's no possible way they could find any clues. And more importantly, what about the judge and his secretary?
Oh boy, I took care of that just like I said I would.
That's good. And Louis, Tony wants to talk to me tomorrow, and I don't know what it's about, but depending on what it is he has to say, I want you to hang around the house and check in with me from time to time. I may need you to clean up a few loose ends.
You think he suspects anything?
I don't know.
And he really believes Rachel is his wife?
Seems to be that way. Tony's not stupid. I just hope he doesn't figure it out too soon.
Yeah. Well, if I was him, I wouldn't complain. She's rather fine. Leg of lamb. You know what I mean?
That's fascinating, Louis. You can go now. And remember, stick around the house and check in.
Okay.
What type of face did that woman make when she saw Tony?
That woman is your brother's wife. I suggest you call her by her right name.
I just don't get why he married a girl like that.
I think she's very nice. She may not be wealthy, but I think she's educated. And I know she has a good heart.
What
What are you talking about? She has no class whatsoever. Have you seen how she dresses?
Did you ever stop to think that that might be a lack of money and not taste?
I still don't get it. And what about her sister?
What about her?
She not only looks cheap, she's stupid. Have you tried to have a normal conversation with her? It's pathetic. Next time our friends come over, we're going to have to hide them so we're not embarrassed.
Camille, you can say the silliest things sometimes. Now stop it. If Tony married that girl, she's got qualities that he admired. He certainly didn't get married to please your friends.
I'm sure I know the qualities he admires. They're plainly visible.
Camille, Tony's been very tolerant of all your little escapades. Now, I suggest you show the proper respect for his wife. If you don't, you're going to suffer the consequences. You know how impatient Tony can be.
Come on, let's go to breakfast. No, don't. What, are you going to stay holed up in here all day? I don't know what I'm going to do. Why are you making the bed? They have servants here that do that. Marnie, we've never had a maid before, and as far as I'm concerned, we don't have one now either. Sometimes you are so stupid.
Like when you talk to Packer, have him bring the doctor when he comes to the house today. Yeah, that's it. Good, thanks. James, have you seen Rachel yet today? No, sir, I haven't. James, when you see Rachel, come back up, set up a place for two. Ask her to join me for breakfast. Yes, sir. Excuse me. Thank you. Max. Do you have my plane ticket and marriage license? In your office. You know, I cannot remember a thing about that wedding. The only thing I can vaguely remember is being at a job site up in Ixtapa that day.
Well, apparently you weren't in Ixtapa.
Thanks, Max. What'd you find out in San Francisco?
I went to the courthouse and verified your marriage to Rachel.
Were there any witnesses? Not a single one of these people. Look, you saw the license. It was definitely my signature.
Of course, I'm sure of it. What are you thinking?
Well, for one, for two people who are supposedly madly in love, I see Rachel the other day. She seems completely indifferent. I can't remember a thing about her. I can't remember her family or her father. You've met her father, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Well, what's he like?
Regular guy, I guess. Look, Tone, obviously you can't remember all this stuff because of the concussion. Now, can I make a suggestion?
What's that?
Don't talk to a lot of people about all these questions you have.
Why not?
Well, one, you don't want to hurt Rachel's feelings. Two, you don't want to cause a scandal. Three, most of our friends have already met Rachel. Could you imagine what would happen? Like I said, you ought to keep it to yourself. And later on, when you're feeling better and your memory comes back, you find you don't have any feelings for Rachel, hell, you could always divorce her. Is there anything else?
No, Max. That's it. Thank you.
Get some rest then. James, what are you doing sneaking around out here? Go get Tony's breakfast and bring it to him right now. I'll go tell Rachel.
Yes, sir.
Come in.
Tony wants to see you. Rachel, don't do anything silly. He's probably just going to ask you for a divorce.
How could you do this to me?
I'm sorry. I really am. But I promise you it's going to work out. And when he asks you how you two met, how we met, make believe our romance was yours and his. And it'll work out. I promise. Don't forget that I love you.
Don't ever say that to me again.
Rachel, I do love you. Now, Tony's going to try to be very kind and understanding with you. Don't buy it. He's a selfish bastard who'll stop nothing to get what he wants.
Then he must be just like you.
Oh, no. Not like me. You see, because I have a destiny, Rachel. Driving motivation that allows me to do what I do.
Yeah. What's that?
My love for you.
Listen to me. The only reason why I'm going through with this is to keep my father and my sister out of jail. Do you understand? It has nothing to do with helping you.
James, have you seen Rachel?
Max went to get her, sir.
Strange, isn't it?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Come on in.
Hi, James.
Hi, excuse me.
For a married couple, we certainly act like strangers.
Yeah.
So, are we?
Are we what?
Are we strangers?
Well, I guess you could say we're strangers since you lost your memory.
Oh, I've lost my memory, but you haven't. Here, have a seat.
Thank you.
You want sugar?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Sorry. I'm afraid I'm going to have to relearn all your preferences. But I'd like for you to help me remember.
Sure.
Start by telling me something about us, something that might trigger my memory.
Well, we met about 4 months ago. You came into the store where I worked.
What'd you do there?
Sales. Look, Tony, it's just that I didn't know that you had all this money. You never even told me you had a family.
Is that why you're so uneasy?
Yes, that's exactly why.
I'm so sorry. I have no idea why I wouldn't have told you about all this. Maybe I wanted you to fall in love with me for who I am. Not for all this money.
Maybe.
And what else did I say?
Said that you worked for a construction company. And then explained why you traveled so much from Mexico to the States. You also said that you had no family at all.
Where did I say I lived?
You had an apartment in San Francisco.
What street?
Lombard Street.
Did we see each other a lot?
No, not a lot because you were traveling so much.
When did we decide to get married?
A few weeks ago.
Oh, did we have a party?
We were going to. The weekend after the accident.
Did you meet any of my friends?
No.
Were there any witnesses at the courthouse? Why not?
Because you wanted it to be just the two of us. You said that we would have a big party after the ceremony in the church.
Wait a minute. We never even got married in a church?
No.
Rachel, I'm going to have to ask you a question. Was there something that forced us into marriage?
What do you mean?
I have to be blunt. Are you pregnant?
No! Absolutely not.
So remember going to the job site next stop. He's not sure. There's not much going on up there anyway. What I want you to do, I want you to take a trip up there, try to find anyone who might have seen him. Talk to him. If you run into anybody that has any morals, make them disappear.
You got it.
Oh, wait. Just wondering, maybe somebody might have seen him at the office that day. Why couldn't he just die? The way he was supposed to.
hungry?
No.
Oh, what is wrong?
Nothing.
I can't remember what you were like before we got married, but I'm sure it wasn't like this. Was it?
No.
Well, what's changed? Is it me? Oh, look, Rachel, I am trying as hard as I can to remember you. And us. I'm coming up with nothing. And yesterday when you saw me, you didn't seem happy. You didn't show any kind of love or affection. Nothing.
Because I was shocked. I couldn't believe that you were alive.
Rachel, did you marry me because you loved me? Do you love me?
Tony, I want a divorce.
Divorce. It's strange. What a coincidence. That's the second time today I've heard that word. Why do you want a divorce? So why do you want a divorce?
Because I shouldn't have married you. Tony, we're just too different.
What do you mean?
I made a mistake. I mean, when I got here, I noticed that you...
That what? That I have money? So what? This will be the first time in history a woman's gotten a divorce because her husband has money.
I don't care about your money. I don't love you.
Not very flattering, is it? I mean, I assumed you loved me at some point. What happened? What made you change your mind? Maybe I disappointed you on our wedding night?
We didn't have a wedding night.
You mean you and I never...
Never.
Ooh. A strange marriage this is turning out to be. Look, how come we never had a wedding night?
Because you came back to Acapulco the day we got married. Look, the point is I don't love you and I want a divorce.
With a huge alimony, I suppose.
I don't want your stupid money. I want to get out of here. Look, if you remember me, why can't you just let me go?
Yeah. Fine, have him wait there. Yes, I'll be there in a few minutes.
Are we getting a divorce or not?
No.
Why not?
Because, Rachel, I have to find out why I married you. I mean, you're an attractive woman, but I know I wouldn't have married you just for your looks. There must be some hidden qualities in you that I've got to find out. Look, as soon as I have done that, and I'm not satisfied, then I'll give you a divorce.
Do you think that I am going to stand here and let you study me like a lab mouse? I don't belong to you. You cannot hold me here against my will.
Yes, I can. And I will. Go ahead, just try to get past the door.
Are you kidding me?
No, my dear. I have to find out why I married you.
He doesn't want to give me a divorce and he won't let me leave the house.
Why?
Because he's a jerk.
Charles is waiting for you in the office.
I know, Max.
Well, good morning. How you doing?
Fine.
Look, I've got some documents here that need your signature.
Charles, first we have to let the media know that I'm not dead.
Well, not to worry. First thing I did this morning, I called the TV stations and major papers and let them know you were alive and well. I kept it short.
Good. They must have had a field day with my wedding. Charles, that is the last thing I need more scandalous stories concerning me.
Well, everybody was quite surprised about that wedding.
Have the police completed the investigation of the accident?
Not yet.
Charles, get my secretary on the phone. Have her send me a copy of my schedule for last week. Appointments, calls, trips, everything, please. And never book me a flight up to San Francisco.
You gonna go up and see specials?
Among other things. I have some things to check out. Has my doctor called yet?
Yeah, he called. He said he'd be out this morning.
What he'd done was ask him for a divorce.
I did ask him for a divorce. I told him I made a mistake. I told him I didn't love him.
And what did he say?
He said he must have married me for some reason. Some secret quality that he's going to rediscover.
What a guy. Did he try anything?
No, he didn't try anything.
I don't want him to touch you again.
It's easy for you to say. What if he wants to touch me? What am I supposed to do then? Slap him? Oh, that makes total sense, Max. Just slap my husband because he touched me.
You could slap him. You already told him you don't love him, so...
Okay, you got me into this mess. You get me out of it.
I will get you out of it. In a few days. But in the meantime, I want you to stay away from Tony. If he invites you to his bedroom again, refuse. You can't be alone with him, Rachel. You can't handle it. I'm doing this because I love you.
Shut up. I don't want to ever hear you say you love me again. Because you have ruined my entire life. How could you do this to me? I thought you loved me.
I do love you.
You know what I should do?
What?
I should act like Tony's wife. I should love him, be there for him. See how you like it.
Don't talk like that. Rachel, Tony's gonna get all of this. Maybe. But he's not gonna get you.
Who's that woman?
Huh? It's one of Tony's lovers.
One of them? He has more than one?
Of course. You think the mere fact that he's married is gonna change that? You better get your stud.
Look, I do need those papers as soon as
Yeah, I'll get them over to you as soon as I get back to the office.
Tony! I'm so happy to see you. How are you?
I have some bruised ribs.
You've apparently got a bruised brain as well.
Well, I guess I better get going.
Thanks, Charles.
Bye.
Bye. Can you explain something to me?
What's that?
Can you tell me what's going on with this whole marriage charade?
Yeah, I got married. That's all.
Ah, okay. Well, I don't know how you can stand there and calmly say that to me. Don't look at me like that and don't laugh. You and I...
We what? Look, we had something nice. But I never mentioned the word marriage, did I?
I didn't think you had to. You know, sometimes actions speak louder than words.
Look, just because you sleep with someone does not mean you're going to marry them. And if that were the case, you'd be married several times, wouldn't you? Look, I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to hurt you. Can I get you something to drink?
Scotch.
It's a little early, isn't it?
I'm thirsty.
Okay.
So, what in the world do you see in this little girl anyway?
So you've seen her, huh?
Yeah, I have.
She's pretty, isn't she? You in love with her? Well, I hope so. If I married her.
Where did you meet her?
We met a few months ago. in San Francisco.
Why did you keep this a secret? You were ashamed, weren't you? Yeah, you were ashamed. You realized that you would have to polish her up before you attempted to introduce her to your family and friends.
Look, Maura, Rachel's my wife. So if you're going to insult her, do it somewhere else, but not in this house.
Oh my. Are you throwing me out?
No. I'm just warning you. Treat her with some respect. You understand?
Yes.
Rachel, hold on a second. You've met Maura, haven't you?
Yes. We've been introduced. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm gonna go see Camille. I'm very happy you're all right.
Thank you.
You will be having a little shindig, won't you? To celebrate your marriage and Tony's return from the dead? Oh, I hope so.
We will.
When?
Maybe Saturday.
Is that okay with you?
Excuse me.
What a pity. You know, you are going to have to buy her some clothes. That is, if, of course, you want her to be treated with, what was the word you called? Respect?
I do appreciate your concern, Maura.
See you later.
Yeah. See ya.
I don't know how he did it, but Max found out about our little business. Oh, shut! Sit down! I said I don't know how he did it, how he found out, but he threatened me with jail if I said anything about this. Roger, pay attention to me. You gotta promise that you won't say a word about this because, like I said, he threatened me with jail if I said anything about this. So promise you won't say a word. Just promise. Roger, promise!
All right, I promise. So, why'd you leave the living room? I do not understand you at all.
Please don't.
You're certainly not behaving like the doting wife, are you? I mean, we're married, and
I already told you. I don't love you.
yeah, I know. Just found that out. It's a matter I'm not attractive anymore.
It's not that.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to force you into a thing. If you want a divorce, so be it. Fine. I figure we're married, we might as well enjoy it. Because we both might have fun. Look, I know there are qualities in there somewhere that I fell in love with. I want to find them. I do find you very attractive. Who is it? Oh, it's Max. What do you want?
The doctor's here to see you.
I'll be right back, honey. Max, you can leave now. Max. How'd you know I was in there?
One of the maids saw you going.
So why didn't you send one of them to come get me?
Because I didn't feel like it. the two of you doing?
What are you doing in here? Get out of here right now. Tony sees you.
I asked you a question. What were the two of you doing on that bed?
None of your business.
None of my business. None of my business?
Yes, you heard me. Now get out of here.
I told you not to let him touch you. I told you to stay away from him.
Max, I didn't do anything. This whole thing is your fault.
The plan is.
Yeah, I know what the plan is. You know, I can't stop him from coming in here. He's my husband, remember? You can't stop him either. I'm getting sick of this whole deal. And I've had enough of you.
Not enough of me and not enough of Tony, is that it?
Hey, just got back from the beach.
Come on, I have to talk to you.
Something wrong?
Now.
Rachel, what happened? Marty, I don't know if I can continue with this.
Tony, I can't see anything out of the ordinary with these x-rays. I really think you should go to the States, see a specialist, and get a thorough examination.
Thank you, Regina.
You're welcome. Excuse me.
What strikes me as very strange that I cannot remember a thing about the accident. I can't remember a thing about my wife. I can't remember the day before the accident. I saw more the other day, and I remembered everything about our relationship. That's 3 or 4 months ago. I cannot remember a thing about Rachel or her family.
Tony, that's why I'm suggesting you go to the States, see a specialist, and get a thorough checkup. There could have been some trauma cause in the accident, which is causing this specific loss of memory.
The other thing that bothers me is Rachel said that when we met, I acted very strange.
What do you mean?
Well, I never told her anything about the money I had, my family, nothing. It's as though I was ashamed of her.
You have any feelings towards her?
How can I? I feel like I just met her.
You know what, Tony, this is looking a lot more complicated than I first thought.
Well, maybe things aren't what they seem to be.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Charles, it's me. Is that right? Are you sure? Thank you very much.
News?
Yeah. Police completed the investigation of the accident. Seems it wasn't an accident at all. It was intentional.
Intentional?
That's right.